Welcome. This is Mary Anglade, and this is the Builder Lead podcast. Today we are unpacking some of the highlights of one of the biggest events in the home building industry, IBS 2026. I'm just back from Orlando, and today I can't wait to give you some of the latest and greatest, especially around marketing insights from IBS. So if you're not familiar with IBS, it is the largest conference. There were about 75,000 attendees this year, descended upon Orlando, Florida for days of networking, educational sessions, 2 enormous exhibit halls, and just a lot more. There were events, parties. One thing that I particularly enjoyed was my clients, TD Realty Partners, LLC, and Westchester Modular Homes were finalists for the BALA Awards, the Better American Living Awards. So they had a really great dinner and award ceremony. So that was exciting to attend. Other than that, I was really busy with some of the educational sessions, and I can't wait to kind of just tell you about some of them because I really learned, as somebody who's immersed in marketing every day and, works with home builders every day, I really just got a lot out of it. So let's dig in. The first thing I want to talk about is, the big theme. The big theme was AI. AI is everywhere. It's here. It's no longer the future. And IBS really had some great sessions. Everything from how to incorporate this into your day-to-day to make your, work more productive. A lot on how it's impacting marketing. So one session I particularly really, found very insightful was the one on SEO. Most of you, if you're tracking your traffic, may have seen a decline in traffic from SEO. And you might have also just noticed that search results look different. We have now the Google AI summary, at the top when you have an inquiry. Google sometimes just answers it. You don't need to go to the website. Now, it will have links on where it's pulling the information from, but in a lot of cases, websites are not getting the clicks anymore. Most of us have also been asked, I know I get this from my clients all the time, you may have heard it from, your great aunt Sally or somebody else. How do I get found in ChatGPT? Or I searched, best home builder in West Palm Beach, Florida, and we didn't come up. Now, why is that? Well, this was a big eye-opener for me. During the education session, they cited some research that shows that there's very little consistency in the AI engine answers to your inquiries. So in particular, you may even ask the same question in the same AI engine or in different ones, and you won't get the same answer. So Rand Fishkin actually ran some primary research where he, and I assume his team, input the same inquiry for 12 brands into different AI engines, and there was no consistency. You would get a different answer for the same engine or across engines. So this is kind of eye-opening because there's really no such thing as a ranking within the AI engines. And when I say AI engine, I'm talking about ChatGPT, Claude, there's a whole number of different ones. Most people are very familiar with ChatGPT. So when somebody asks you, why am I not showing up? Or, I asked who's the best home builder and you weren't listed. Well, if they kept asking, you might be. Now, the second thing that came up was these AI platforms are in their infancy. So what's happening now could change tomorrow. But also, they are really confidence engines. So they need to have confidence in their answers. So something like your site loads very quickly is a signal to them. A lot of home builders have big images on their sites. This is a good thing. You want to have beautiful imagery of your homes. So I think you have to weigh the common sense of this is my business and I need to have some beautiful homes with, could I actually have smaller sized photos to make my site load more quickly? These are the things we don't want to lose common sense just to get found in ChatGPT, and especially not now when these platforms are in their infancy. So that is just, that was a big learning. SEO is definitely being changed by AI. There's no question about it. The good news is if you are doing your SEO properly, you have your inbound links, you have your pages optimized so the search engines know what your page is about. You're generating fresh content, maybe on a blog or somewhere else, then you will be found in the engines as well. But it's going to be difficult to consistently see those results. So that was the result of this primary research by Rand Fishkin. You can certainly Google that, and it goes much deeper than I'm sharing here, but those are really, I think, the important highlights. The second huge, takeaway for me was another education session, which I really enjoyed. And it was about how speed to lead is so important now with AI. We've all been trained through Amazon and Google, getting our answers quickly, getting our products delivered within hours, certainly overnight, where now when somebody puts in an inquiry into your website and, they're a lead, you want to get back to them immediately. I admittedly have been using 15 minutes in my webinars because that's what the research used to show. Now it's 1 minute or less. So how are you going to respond that quickly, especially if you have a sales team, or let's say you are the home builder and you're busy building houses all day and you don't even have time to check? Well, the good news is there's automation. Our clients, we set them up with automated email. We will soon have an AI chatbot. This particular session was all about how AI chat can really help you. They can qualify the leads and route them accordingly. So this is good news because, one, it makes you more efficient, it saves you time, but you're getting back to people when they need to be answered, because if you don't, they are shopping you around. And they have done research on this that shows through all of their inquiries and their tracking that if you don't answer them immediately, they're going over to another builder. And whoever gets the lead first and responds, a lot of times that actually is the end of the story. Somebody is judging you that quickly, and they've just made up their mind. They're ready to build something. So you really do want to get back to them. And that's something we've always preached, but maybe not within just 1 minute. Silence kills momentum. Silence is expensive. And so that's just the other takeaway from that. And not to say, you're not going to let your whole sales process be taken over by AI. You're going to route that lead to a real person, or you're going to, automate with email, set up an appointment with a real person. And then, of course, you're going to build the rapport and you're going to have the human interaction that, we are used to and it makes sense. But people are 100% comfortable for the most part in, having some questions answered up front. The other important takeaway from this was, aged leads. So salespeople don't want to deal with aged leads. I know I don't really either. But now we can use AI, we can use automation to go through these leads, to resuscitate them. And in fact, you can get a 10 to 20% conversion off of old leads. And using AI, you can lower your costs and actually make this an effective way to continue converting those leads. Other ways that AI is driving home building: self-guided tours, AI-driven operational systems, advanced product showcases. All of these things came out in IBS. I think the important, lesson from all of this was, though, that, as much as AI is here, it's going to be changing constantly. It's not replacing people. And we also just want to use common sense. As much as we all want to get found in ChatGPT, we want to make sure that we're ahead of the curve. The fundamentals of having a beautiful website that showcases your work, putting out fresh content, following what are solid SEO practices, having your meta tags and your descriptions and all the back end that you need really hasn't changed, because all of these AI engines are looking for the same things that Google is. And then the other point is that while something like a ChatGPT is accounting for a lot of search, the stat I heard, and I've heard this before, is that, while there might be 330 million ChatGPT searches a day, there are 6 billion Google. And that probably doesn't even include YouTube, which is owned by Google, and it is also a search engine. So 90% of the search is still happening on Google. And so you don't want to turn your entire SEO strategy on its head for ChatGPT. Now, in our case, we are keeping a close eye on this. In fact, I will be holding a webinar next week on the 25th. So please join me live. You can sign up. You can contact us at our website. Or if you're listening to this after the fact, it will be up on our YouTube channel. So thanks for tuning in today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please take a moment to leave us a review. I also encourage you to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks.